The first thing I would like to say, just in regards to the tip minimum wage, if you increase the tip minimum wage, you're not eliminating tips. So you can still tip your server if you raise the tip minimum wage, because the Bureau of Labor Statistics says in 2014 that the average tip worker makes $9.01 per hour. So we're hearing a lot of stories about people who make a lot more money as servers, and they certainly do exist. But the average is not $34 or $40 an hour. That's just not the way that works. The other thing is, though restaurants do have to add money up to the minimum wage for their tip workers if they don't reach that, from 2010 to 2012, according to the Department of Labor, 84% of restaurants were in violation of federal wage law for not doing that. Because workers who maybe are not getting up to minimum wage, who are maybe getting $6 or $7 an hour, including their tips, depending on the restaurant they work at, they don't really have a recourse. They can't afford a lawyer, they can't go to court. So they pretty much have to just take it until they can attempt to find a better job. Alright, sorry, I have a lot of statistics. I don't want to use them all, but I can send these to you after.
Clerk, you can send it to clerk.
Alright, I will do that. So we're in, using from the National Employment Law Project, they put together a very comprehensive document that I'll get to you through the clerk. Just something to say, the hourly wage needed to afford a basic household budget in Rhode Island by family size in 2018 for a single adult is $15.88 an hour. That's with no children. With one child, it would be $27.47 an hour, which, even in that case, assuming you have a two-parent household for that one child, you're still looking at about a $15 an hour minimum wage. The average age of workers who would benefit from a $15 an hour minimum wage is 36 years old. So we have a lot of talk about how these are just teenagers working summer jobs, things like that. That's not true. The average age is 56, and 35% of the affected workers in Rhode Island are 40 or older, and teens are just 11% of that statistic. 48% of people who make below $15 an hour do have a college education. I have a college education. I'm still paying about $400 a month in student loans. I can't speak to other people's experience with that, but if you're working for, I think it's, what is it, $10.10 right now, $10.50 an hour minimum wage in Rhode Island, $400 is a huge amount to be paying, and there's no way to discharge that through bankruptcy. If things go wrong, you're stuck with that debt for the rest of your life. And that drives down everything. I can't buy a home because I can't save for a down payment because I've got this massive tens of thousands of dollars burden around my neck. Just some quote, the CEO of Popeyes told CNN Money, quote, "Everybody in retail is dealing with an increase in minimum wage. We will adjust to increased costs just like we have before. Life will go on. There's been too much hubbub about it." And the upshot of that is a lot of businesses are saying, well, we can't afford this, we'll go out of business. Well, everyone else in your industry is going to be dealing with the same cost increase. And I know me as a customer, I'm not going to drive 30 minutes to Massachusetts to get to a restaurant. Other Rhode Islanders aren't going to do that. So like the restaurant industry is going to be around. You may have some support staff, cleaning staff that makes less than $15 an hour. I still like a clean environment. I don't want to go to a hospital where, they're just not paying people to, clean the floors, clean the rooms. stuff like that. Ron Watkins is the director of operations for 16 McDonald's restaurants in Arizona, and said, and this is in Flagstaff, where they approved the $15 an hour minimum wage. He said the minimum wage measure does not affect the company's willingness to add locations of jobs in Flagstaff. Somebody had mentioned Seattle earlier as a place where the $15 an hour minimum wage isn't working, which is ridiculous because they, when I last checked, had a 2.8% unemployment rate, which is lower than I think any state in the country. So if they've had to cut a couple hundred jobs, that just feels like something that happens when you get down to 2.8%, unemployment rate, is eventually, companies adjust. I guess at the end of the day, because I'll get you all these statistics, for me, I make more than the minimum wage. I make more than $15 an hour. The person, or the types of people that this might hurt the most, would be people like me who might have to pay a little bit more for some services and goods. I don't really care. I can absorb those costs, but people who are not making a living wage, they can't absorb, the cost of not earning a living. They can't absorb, hospital costs in a lot of cases where they'll get hit with a surprise bill. So I think it's just the responsible and humane thing to do to, allow people who work 40 hours a week to not live in poverty. Thank you.
Any questions?